What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Stack. I'm Alex.
I'm Pete.
And we are doing a special midnight edition of The Stack, talking about the big Batman Catwoman. I like this. This is good. The big Batman Catwoman wedding. We're going to be focusing on two issues that dropped at midnight parties all over the nation tonight. If you're listening to this later, time doesn't really matter to you. We're also going to have a regular edition of The Stack that'll go up a little later today with a bunch of other comics not from DC. But we figured this was enough to break out to talk about. This has been 50 issues of Tom King's run on Batman leading up to this. It's kicking off Catwoman 1 that is also out today. Now, we should mention there's going to be massive spoilers here, so if you don't want to hear them, turn away until you have read the issue. Before we get into it, we'll talk about Batman 50 first. Pete, what'd you think overall? What did you think about the issue?
I was really impressed. I felt like I could have lost my shit, but because it was so well written, I did not. And I cried. I thought it was really powerful, really well done. To me, it was very obvious that they really took their time and laid this out in a very specific way that I think very much delivers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the issue was great. It played out like an anniversary issue. I mean, it is issue 50, but the way that folks have been doing the anniversary issues lately with a bunch of different artists kind of doing an artist jam. The lineup on this issue on
really works, though.
Yeah. Well, you usually don't like stuff
I usually
like that.
hate that, and I find that like it pulls me right out of the story. But because of how the story's set up, it's perfect. Yeah. And also, it's really nice because everybody kind of gets to put their stamp on such a huge issue.
Yeah. So this plays out not just as the 50th issue of Tom King's run, but a tribute to the entire span of the relationship of Catwoman and Batman. Yeah. The art in the issue, this is only what's listed on the website, on DC Comics website, is Joel Jones, David Finch, Mikel Janin, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who was the main artist, Lee Bermejo, Frank Miller, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Ty Templeton, Becky Cloonan, Andy Kubert, Neil Adams, Raphael Albuquerque, Mitch Gerards. The way that the issue is structured is you are getting the wedding night of Batman and Catwoman, but it's interjected with each of them looking back throughout the relationship, and it's depicted by each of these artists, seminal artists that have been...
And everybody kind of gets a page.
Yeah. It's great. There was I don't know if we're not supposed to spoil this, but there's a Tim Sale page in there, which is amazing. So it's just a joy to turn and flip through.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I've, at this point, already read it 5 times.
Really?
I read it, cried, had to go back and read that part again, and then I've reread it since then, just because... The art's so amazing. It's such a fun ride that I couldn't put it down.
Now, remind me, you have liked Tom King's run so far, or been iffy about it, or how have you felt about it?
Well, it depends. There's sometimes. Well, first off, I think Tom King in general is an amazing writer, but this specific arc, I've kind of really enjoyed some moments, and other moments I've been like, okay, you know. And
what makes you say that? Why have you been okay about some of the moments?
Just because sometimes the detours aren't as enjoyable for me.
Okay.
Like your Kite Man got another shout out.
Yeah, my boy.
Can't we fucking move past that shit? But so like he takes different choices with things. Like I didn't enjoy the Booster Gold stuff. So like I think he does. For me, selfishly, just for me, I think that when he's just focusing on Batman, it's amazing. But he does like to do other stuff, which is cool. I mean, the guy's an amazing writer. I'll let him do what he wants to do if I keep getting issues like this.
Well, one of the things that I really appreciate, not just about this run or this issue, but his writing in general, is that he's writing this massive arc. He came out and said... This is issue 50 of a planned 100-issue run on Batman that is his tribute to the relationship of Batman and Catwoman. So this is just the middle of the story. Wow. But at the same time, it still works as an individual issue. And even when he's doing arcs like when Poison Ivy took over the world, or the two-parter about the Superman-Batman double date, each issue still works as an issue, which is a shocking rarity these days in comics, you know?
Yeah. Especially because people love bigger stories, you know?
Yep.
It seems the one and done aren't as popular as they used to be.
Old man comics here.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those guys. I love one and done, you know, so
I think it's great. Let's talk about the plot of the issue. This is where the spoilers are going to come in. So, as we said, it is their wedding night.
Hang on. I'm dying to know something here.
What?
Did you cry?
No.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Pete, I'm dead inside.
Holy shit, you are.
I think part of the reason was...
Do you know what part I cried at?
I don't know. When?
What? Are you serious? It's such a huge, amazing moment. And nothing you dead inside.
Well, can we talk about the plot and then we'll find out where you were a total pansy about this?
Oh, you watch your mouth.
So the plot of the issue is them getting ready for their wedding night. They're each getting ready separately. They come together in the middle in a beautiful two-page spread. Yeah. I know where you cried. Yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. It's when so they decide they're just going to do it.
They're just going to
pull the trigger. They're going to get married. They're going to do it tonight. They're not going to have a big ceremony or anything like that. They're just going to get married on a rooftop because that's maybe where they met. And Bruce Wayne,
that's a fun running joke, by the way, in Tom King's, like the whole maybe on the roof thing.
Maybe on the roof. It's great. And I think my guess is the part where you cried is where he tells Alfred he's the only person who needs to be there.
Oh, still?
Are you crying
Alfred's
right now?
Look on his face when he realizes that, like, Batman just says, "You're the only person I need for my witness." It's just Alfred's face is he's so happy and so shocked, and it's just so powerful.
Well, that's his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes. Okay. I did get choked up then. I did get choked
moment.
up. Yes. I remember now. Oh. So by the end of the issue,
down next to him.
It's beautiful. The art there is beautiful. The storytelling is beautiful. Everything that happens is beautiful. But by the end of the issue, so Catwoman has broken out Holly from Arkham Asylum to help her out.
Really cool. And also, she was like, "I don't think Batman will like this." Yeah. And she's like, "We don't have to tell him."
Yeah. So, but they get to the rooftop, or rather, Batman gets to the rooftop, and Catwoman does not show up. She is a runaway bride. She leaves. And then the twist at the end is that it was Bane pulling the strings the entire time. This is all part of his plan to break Batman.
Right.
We don't know exactly all of the details yet, but Holly reveals it going to the basement of Arkham Asylum, where Bane is sitting there with all of the rest of the assembled villains, including Batman, it looks like, and the Joker and Riddler and Harley Quinn and everybody else, and they're all smiling, and he reveals that he's broken the bat. So the thing that's crazy about that reveal is we've had multiple arcs leading up to this wedding, but you may have forgotten that this is part of a greater run that Tom King is doing. And before that, there were multiple arcs that involved both Catwoman and Bane. Yeah. Bane specifically being built up as the villain he's supposed to be, not just another rogue for Batman, but the man who actually broke Batman's back. And we found out that he had a deal with Catwoman. There were then enough issues in between that we forgot about it, right?
Now, I didn't see it that way.
Ooh, how'd you see it?
I saw it as they both called it off. Like, they both had their reasons for not going through.
Well, but Batman's there.
They were both on separate rooftops.
But Batman is there on the roof.
He was on a roof, but Catwoman was also on a roof.
Oh, so you think maybe they went to the wrong roofs?
Yeah, they purposely didn't go to the roof they were supposed to and sat on a roof and thought about the other one.
Well, I think it's possible that they might be misremembering roofs, but...
I'm not saying they didn't... They made a mistake with the roof. I'm saying they purposely didn't go to the roof they were supposed to.
So I don't think that's accurate. I think because Batman is there with Alfred, he's there with the judge, the drunk judge, who's going to marry them.
Right.
Catwoman does not show up.
But she is on a rooftop talking to her friend.
Yes, but it's Holly. Here's what I took away from it. What I took away from it is that Holly subtly worked under Catwoman's skin to scare her off, or possibly remind her of what she needed to do. And as we learned back in the Bane arc, Catwoman is ultimately trying to save Batman from Bane, to stop Bane from actually destroying him. Yeah. So I think that's a little bit of what's going on here. I think this is the deal she made with Bane, is said, I'm going to break him emotionally instead of physically. You let me do that, you leave him be.
Oh, wow.
That's what I take away from it. And I think when Batman finds out about this, shit is going to get down.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's insane. But, I mean, there is truth to everything Holly was talking about.
Yeah.
Like how Batman needs the pain to be who he is. Mm-hmm. He needs that to be... Because if he's happy, will he be as sharp?
So do you think ultimately then, if we do take the interpretation that this was all part of Bane's plan, that Bane's plan didn't work because it's just going to make Batman even more Batman?
Yeah.
You think so?
Do you know how pissed he's going to be now? Do you know how much more he's going to take out his anger on all those villains?
What if he's just relieved that he doesn't have to, like, get married, you know?
That doesn't seem like a wow. Ugh. Hey, you all right over there, guy? You want something you want to talk about?
No, I'm fine. Marriage is actually wonderful. So I will say, here has been my one hesitancy with this particular arc.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, I had one hesitancy.
You're a fucking piece of shit.
I don't understand how it would work in the long term. And what I mean by that, and we've talked about this for months now with these issues, because I felt, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I called months ago that Catwoman was going to have a turn. There was going to be some sort of trick, some sort of twist.
Well, yeah, because how could this marriage really work?
Well, that's the thing, is they're getting married as Batman and Catwoman, and everybody knows Catwoman is Selena Kyle, but nobody knows Batman is Bruce Wayne. How are they going to live together? How are they going to have a life together? People are going to be like, oh, that's weird. Selena, you're with Bruce Wayne a lot. Aren't you married to Batman? It's not going to work or make any sense. So that's really a little detail they've been kind of skimming past that doesn't quite work for me personally. So I'm glad we're past that.
Yeah, but they would be smart about it.
How?
You would just go out separately, and then when you're inside together, then you can be together.
Yeah, be like, oh, hey, that's no life. What if they want to have kids?
They can make it work, man.
Yeah.
All right?
Kids blab. They cannot keep secrets for their lives.
Well, you know, maybe, I don't know how it works, but kids will be all right. You just say your dad's dead. He doesn't exist.
Your dad's dead and Bruce Wayne is around the house all the time.
Yeah,
also, exactly. Batman isn't dead. It doesn't work.
I think it works fine.
Before we move on to Catwoman number 1, I do want to talk a little bit about the controversy behind it. Now, you're not familiar with any of this yet, right?
Nope.
Okay. So, the New York Times on Sunday, our good friend George Costinas, who is an excellent writer and a great guy.
Super cool guy, yeah.
Super cool guy. What did you say?
Super cool guy.
Oh, I thought you said super cold guy, which is... I don't know. I don't know what his internal temperature is like. He did a cute thing. He put up a vows column for Batman and Catwoman in the New York Times. The problem was that they found out what the ending was, that Catwoman leaves Batman, and because it's a vows column in the New York Times, it didn't really make sense to leave that detail out. So ultimately, the headline was, it wasn't meant to be Batman. People freaked out about it because Sunday before the issue came out, a massive spoiler dropped. How do you feel about that?
Well, luckily I didn't get spoiled, but I would be pretty upset, you know? Mm-hmm. I think there is really something to be said about, like, you know, when you see a movie, if you don't see it that night or like those 2 nights, you're worried about going on the internet because somebody's going to spoil it, and that does ruin your experience. So if people are upset, I can understand that. I don't think the headline should have been that. I think maybe you should bury that lead a little bit.
I can agree with you on that. And it is tough to argue that breaking down the entire plot of something several days before is a great thing to do. But you've read the issue 5 times now, right?
Right.
The first time you didn't know what was going to happen. The next 4 times you were aware of what's going to happen, but you still enjoyed and appreciated the issue, right?
I enjoyed different things about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I would argue that particularly with an issue like this, that should it be spoiled? No. But if you do get spoiled on this thing, it doesn't take away from the craft that people are putting into the rest of the issue.
That's true. That's true. You're kind of one part of it is ruined. Mm-hmm. But it's that thing of like taking away something from it because you do want to come to it fresh. You do want to have this, what's going to happen.
I'll tell you, I actually enjoyed reading it better the second time through because the first time I read it before the spoiler came out because we got a press copy. I read it the entire time thinking, okay, if by the end of this issue, either they're going to be married, which is weird, and I don't know how they're going to work that, or Catwoman is going to leave him at the altar.
Why Catwoman? Why wouldn't it be Batman? Why would you put it on Catwoman like that?
Because I've been predicting this twist for a while, because there's something weird going on with her. She's been holding back a piece of something the entire time. That's what it's felt like. It's been very focused on Batman and him being surprisingly open with his emotions. Catwoman has not been.
For him.
Yeah. She's been cagey. She's been Catwoman. Also, she's a villain. She's traditionally a villain. You know, she is not... She's an anti-hero, but...
Yeah, but she still does right by Batman most of the time.
Absolutely.
They have that kind of back and forth, which has been really enjoyable over the years.
Yes.
That's why I was super excited about this.
Yes. Well, my point, though, is that I read the issue the first time knowing that we were going to have, or suspecting we were going to have one of these two outcomes or something was coming at the end. So my entire experience was spent anticipating that. The second time through was actually a lot better because I was able to enjoy the art. I knew what was going to happen. I was able to analyze it for clues a little better to the Bane twist, which did get left out of the New York Times article. So I don't know. There's a lot of different ways of thinking about it, but...
I think he should end up with Zatanna. Yeah, I think that's the perfect fit for those two.
I agree. I don't think Batman should end up with anybody. I think Batman is alone forever.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what this issue proves. He can't ever be happy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which is sad because it's like he can't get any happiness in his life.
I'll throw something out at you. Mm-hmm. You know how you hated that Booster Gold arc?
Yeah.
That's what that was about.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that was about when Bruce Wayne gets happy, everything else gets ruined.
Right, I know. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it is fucked up. But the point is that was actually setting up this outcome that Bruce Wayne and Batman
sure, if you
have
want to look at it intellectually, fine. But reading it was a fucking emotional buzzkill.
Yeah, I think, not to give you life advice, Pete, I think you need to find a separation between it made me feel bad and it is bad.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense when you say it like that, but I can't detach myself from it. You know?
That's why we love you, Pete.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely pick up Batman 50, even though we spoiled the heck out of it. Hopefully you did pick it up before you listened to this. Let's talk about Catwoman #1. Now, this spins out directly from the events of Batman 50, or at least it shows what happens next with Catwoman.
I haven't picked up a Catwoman comic in a minute.
Really?
Yeah, so this was exciting. I love how on the cover it's like, hey, jack off, don't read this first.
Yeah, and this is all by Joelle Jones, who is fantastic. The art is by Joelle Jones. It's written by Joelle Jones. Basically what happens is that Catwoman runs away. She runs away. She's in, Santa Prisca? Is that the name of it?
Sure. She's not in Gotham, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, and she gets mixed up with a bunch of copycats, sorry to say.
Oh, man. Really? There's no other way to do that.
Now, here's one detail that you guys probably picked up on. If you haven't, you'll probably figure it out soon enough. But Santa Prisca is the home of Bane. So,
oh shit!
Right. So,
oh shit!
Yeah. So I'm imagining what's happening is she's not just. Are you freaking out now, Pete?
Oh man!
Because
that makes this comic so much better,
right?
Oh man!
Because they don't refer to that at any point in the issue. They don't mention Bane. You know that she's broken up with Batman. She gets her costume back at a certain point in the issue and gets upset and throws it across the room. But there's something going on there. There's some part of the deal that's brought her back to Bane's homeland.
I hope she takes down Bane. That would be amazing.
I think she's working for Bane. I think she's trapped by Bane.
She's trapped by Bane, but she's working an angle, and she's going to take down
So
Bane
you think
herself.
she's like a triple agent?
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen is she takes down Bane. At the same time, Batman kicks in the door to take down Bane, and then they get back together.
If they both kick in the door at the same time, do the doors slam together and then close again? And they're like, oh, man.
No,
It's like a slapsticky thing?
No.
Okay.
It's not a
well,
big
let's talk about
Batman.
this issue. What did you think about this issue?
I thought this was, my mind's blown now with this fact, but I thought this was a great kind of follow-up to a big event. It shows kind of what Catwoman's doing. And what I liked about it is it shows Catwoman a little off the rails, which makes me feel better. Like, she doesn't take this lightly. Like, she's not like, oh, well, I'm just going to go back to my life. It seems like she is lashing out and making all these big moves and staying up, she can't sleep and all this kind of stuff, which makes me feel like she does really care about Batman.
Yeah, I also like the fact that it's a really good emotional arc to take her and pit her against a Catwoman or Catwomans who have no morals, that are willing to do anything to show where she actually is in the moral spectrum right now. I think
That whole reveal was insane because for a second there I thought Catwoman shot a dude and I was like, oh, fuck, Catwoman's really going off the rails. But then I was like, okay, it wasn't the real Catwoman.
She hasn't. So I think she's still an anti-hero. It's going to be exciting to see how this plays out long-term, how it eventually, I imagine, ties back into Batman. I think it's great, too, because Catwoman has often been this side title on DC, but it's now an essential read.
Yeah,
they're figuring out a way to weave them together, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, I'm glad that this got elevated because of this big event.
And Joel John's
really
art
smart
is
on DC's
gorgeous.
part.
Gorgeous art.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's great, too, because it's not Gotham. It's nice to see some bright colors behind the, Catwoman and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So used to the Gotham backdrop all the time. It's really fun to see them get out of that a little bit.
100%. All right, guys, I think that is it for our Batman Wedding Spectacular.
Just real quick before we wrap up, Zalbin, just a reminder, don't get married. Zalbin thinks it's a sham. He's dead inside. So.
Don't get married. Don't have kids, you guys. Otherwise you're going to have to move to Santa Prisca. So there you go. That is it for our wedding episode. Stay tuned for our regular stack, which is a bunch of other titles coming out this very Wednesday. Also, you can check out our live show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at the Pit Loft in New York. We have some great guests coming out. You can check out the whole list of them on comicbookclublive.com. Also, the show is free to listen to, but it does cost us a little bit of money to do. So check out patreon.com/comicbookclub. We have a bunch of new rewards for you guys, including access to our entire back catalog for as little as $2 a month. Every dollar matters, so we appreciate you guys putting the money out there. Pete, what else do you want to plug?
Yes, seriously, we do appreciate the people who listen and support us on Patreon. Thank you very much. Friend us on Facebook so you get to know about the amazing guests we have on our live show.
Follow us on Twitter at Comic Book Live, and we'll see you not at the altar.